Hello. Hello. How are you? Yo. G'day. I hope everybody's well. It says it's live. That's good. Today, we're going to talk about a bit of tissue culture briefly. I haven't really got, I've got a few slides to show from the things that I found through the week, and that's on a bit of tissue culture, heaps of the cannabis, cannabinoids and the pain and the endocannabinoid system, a bit on legality stuff. And there's a cool chart on the difference between like all the opioids and all the pain medication compared to cannabis and the CBD and the different constituents in it. It's really interesting, and they do a good breakdown. So that's pretty cool. So, and then maybe some questions, and that's it. So let's start. So I can't see comments. Maybe there's no comments. All right. Oh well. Share screen. Entire screen. Oh, fuck, who cares? All right, I'm just sharing screen just to try and get all this stuff up. So these things I'm going to go through. Not too many. I like this one. This is actually starting the funny stuff, because it's always good to have a bit of a laugh at the start. So this thing, I like this one. How taxes are killing the cannabis industry, Trudeau. Yes, it is. It's amazing. Why don't they bloody fix it then? That's a good thing for Australia. And not that I'm into the Jesus thing, but I thought this was pretty funny. Hangovers are God's way of saying you should have smoked weed instead. Haha. Back to the start. And this is pretty interesting. This isn't to do with cannabis really, but I thought it's just cool, just an interesting observation. Like, do people see this as, what would you call a glass of water in it that's half full? It's saying, are you an optimist, or is it half empty as you see it, or is that just a glass of water? Or to the scientists, they say, what's in this unlabeled beaker? Yeah. This is the dried cannabis inventory in Canada, how it's gone up over the years. And it's gone up to a point where it's just ridiculous now, where things are getting in storage and they're going to be past their due date. That's why a lot of the companies are doing extractions. It's a shame it's not like that in Australia. Oh, that's right. I was supposed to read something on this. Sorry, I'll have to get that little page up. Because this was a study to do with cannabis again. Actually, I'm just going to get it up. So bear with me. Sorry. I was just doing some soil science and technology before it because I'm a bit behind at the moment. And this week we're going through macronutrients. It's pretty fascinating. But I'm only going to answer your questions. I'm not going to show you stuff that you don't want to know. Pain specialist. Oh no. I have to find which one. There's a few read-ups this week of the, what's this? The effects of cannabis use on urology. So this is to do with, conclusion is, previous use of cannabinoids was associated with a lower risk of bladder cancer, renal cell carcinoma, and prostate cancer. The inverse association between cannabis and both renal cells and bladder cancer was found in females but not in males. So that's an interesting difference between the male and the female. Here's the zoom up version. This is just that's just the urology chart. That's not going to make much sense. This is the rad one. This is the one I was saying it's just cool as. It shows you the difference between down the bottom here is the pain tablets or whatever you're putting into your system, whatever's ingested, and you can see the cannabinoids over here, and then it's got the GABAs, amitriptyline, tramadol, ibuprofen, that's methadone, oxys, and then the other morphine. So over here it's the pain relief, then it goes quality of life, and then there's some other, quite a few parameters that they go into. But the bit that I'm really concerned about, or not concerned, but found fascinating, is the pain relief and the quality of life. And we'll go over here. So it's the top, it's the blue and then the yellow. So the blue, yeah, you get pain relief. We all know that. And they said it's the combination from the two. and rather than the CBD. And that's, from the studies that I've seen, that's true as well. But look at this, the quality of life. And we all know that because we take it and we use it as medicine. But why don't, anyway, it just outweighs everything else hands bloody down. So the THC and the CHC combined is just twice as good of quality of life. And we all know that. It's just big pharma can't make money off it. So that's why where we're at. And I like that chart. And this is I just can't face this because I thought, wow, this is snazzy, because cannabis consumption is actually on track to beat alcohol consumption finally. So look at the health benefits, the difference. Like, that's what I'm here to preach, because of the friggin' health benefits. It's just unbelievable. And alcohol also gave me epilepsy when I withdrew off it. It brought it on. But anyway, there's a big difference, and I just thought, wow, cool. Finally, might be better health coming up for the society. Oh geez, this looks pretty technical. This is heaps of receptors in here. I've got to read this one. The cannabinoid approach, the endocannabinoid system for COVID-19. Oh, there's a new therapeutic approach to COVID-19 and the ECS. The endocannabinoid system is found in multiple systems in the body. We all knew that. And it reacts with different turns the switches on and off. And we can produce it in our own body, but we can give that through THC and CBD externally to do the same thing. So moreover, the endocannabinoid system activation can lead to an increase in anti-inflammatory cytokines, mainly represented in the IL-10 gene. Overall, the cannabinoid system can potentially reduce pulmonary inflammation, increase immunomodulatory effect, decrease PMN inflammation, and reduce fibrosis, decrease viral replication. So they're sort of saying that it might have an effect on endocannabinoid system and COVID-19 with the SARS thing. They're saying this study suggests that there could be a link to say that it helps. That's about it. Back to those funny things. Yeah. This is a tissue culture thing that I thought was pretty cool. So this is on the development of MS medium. So that's Murasagi and Scrooge medium. And this was a medium they did in 1962, to develop the essential nutrients that plant needs. And have the 19 that it needs, or recently it's just 17, and they've got little ones that are bonus ones. That's what they've put into this media, and this is the media that I use. And you can get it now with, it's just not a normal standard media, because you need the media, which is nutrients, and then you need a few extra things when you're doing tissue culture. You need your vitamins. There's 5 essential things to keep a cell alive, and that's its nutrients, your inorganic nutrients. Oh shit, I'm not going to try and tell you because I might get it wrong. But there's 5 essential things, and so I get the addition of you need the carbon source, which is the sucrose. That's one of the essential nutrients. So I'll get that added to this medium. I'll get and other micronutrients added to this medium too, which they don't normally put in. And then all I've got to do to proliferate things then is play around with the hormones, the cytokinins and the auxins. And that's my little secret. But yeah, this is how to do it. And I just like the slide, the colors and stuff. It just shows you how to do it. How with tissue culture, I haven't even seen if anyone's asking questions. This it's about being sterile, really, because the plant cells, they can double in sort of 15-18 hours. So if you keep them in their right environments with their right medium, they will duplicate. And most of the cells have the parenchyma activities to replicate themselves. So your chances are pretty high if you can get these things right. And this medium really, really helps a lot. Yeah, that's about it. It's more so I've found with tissue culture, it's just a sterile thing. Temperature just slows reactions up. So you still get a result, but it's just slow. And it means that instead of plant cells growing, your bacteria or fungi, those cells can reproduce in hours, where plant cells is in sort of days. There's a long-term thing. or minutes for bacteria and fungi, but more so bacteria, and then the plants hours. So you can grow the bacteria and fungi faster than the plant cells. That's the only thing about that difference with that. All right, next. Updated cannabis microbial testing regulation in the States. This is cannabis testing that they do for Salmonella species. And the map below provides a snapshot of the different Salmonella species acceptable limits by each state. So if in here down the chart down the bottom, it says that if it's up near 1, they'll accept it in their cannabis. So if you live in these states, you might be getting Salmonella in your cannabis. They've allowed it to come through in your medicine. So if you're going to extract with that, make sure that you do pasteurize it and get it above in the 62 Celsius or whatever that is in Fahrenheit, 150, 60 or something, 70. You have to check that. But yeah, to kill that, because you don't want those to be culturing those species in your body. It's just shit house. It just more so backs up again why they should legalize it, even in Australia, so the home person can grow their own stuff. So there's no chance. If you've got an immune deficiency or problem and chances of this happening, what can that person do if they live in these states, or if they live even in Australia now? And so if they're doing this in the States, which we get our advice off Canada and the States, so yeah, if they're ahead of us, well, we're behind this. So we're probably not even doing this. So what about the immune compromised people in Australia who can't even grow their own, but want to get how they get relief off medical cannabis? Come on, government, pull your finger out, legalize it. Oh yeah, or this is an example: the future of Switzerland as a leader in cannabis. So they've just only become legal for medicinal cannabis, and now they're doing all these things, and they're implementing all strategies to become world leaders. And look at Australia. We haven't even friggin' legalized it. We've just, the first medical, the licensed LP went into liquidation in Australia because shit's going, they can't do things right. We're so friggin' behind it. Anyway, what's this? And to back it up, the president of Costa Rica, Rodrigo Chaves, he announces that there's a project that they're going to make cannabis recreational in 100 days. So there's another country who's just fully legalized it. Fully. What is Australia doing? No, they're fucking around, just trying to make money out of it. How can we just triple the taxes? How can we bleach society? Stuff the health. Yeah, that's dead set what's happening. Listen, friggin' politicians. It just sucks. People just voting against it. Oh no, there's not enough money being made. What about the poor people suffering for health, etc., and their quality of life with all those other people like that chart before? Yeah. Anyway, stop going on. US legalizes pot boats. So yeah, in the 60s there was jack shit, and now it's come right up. It looks like it might have been out of 100. So it's only in the last, since 2012, it went over 50% weight. Must have. And now it's constantly in it because they've recognized it again as a proper medicine, like as it is, because these pig-headed so-and-sos aren't getting kicked back. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that. But good on them. So I hope that we can do that soon. Oh, that's the end of the slides too. Shit. Okay. Oh, there was one. I'll say hello to someone if people rocked up. I'll go back up to the top here. Sure, bro. G'day, sure, bro. You going, mate? Hope all's well in the camp over the Tasman. How you going, Brendan? Jeff? Lene M. Hello. Hello, Jeff Papella. Nexus, g'day, mate. Nice to see you. Fratel, g'day. Fratel Medical. He knows about medical. Volcano Man. PTP, how you going, PTP? He's got a channel, everybody. If you check out PTP, he's our regular 420 fella in Australia. You can smoke with him nearly every day. Him and the crew. Next is PTP. North. G'day, North. Hope you're getting warm and ready for your cold. And that's about it. Oh no, Blinky. G'day, Blinky. Blinky Cat. American one. Here you go, American one. Is there any questions, anybody? Oh, here's the that's the link. Is there any questions? I'm going to show how to turn hemp into, now that I've changed my career paths, yes. Anyway, I don't want to talk about too much. This is a video on how to make rope from hemp from scratch, using only your hands and a few handmade tools that you got around the farm. It is so easy and so bloody good. There's so many different uses you can have for hemp. That's another topic. But yeah, so he's going and separating the fibre. So when you get your stilts, you'll realise, and you're rubbing your fingers, they'll separate real easily. And if you ever try to pull a stem and take a node off and it sticks and it's the fibres, they are tough as hell fibres. So he's just gone and denatured it and glued it down, and then he's going to separate each fibre by putting it on the nails here. And then once the nails it's gotten into the fibre form, he's got to weave it together to try and make it into like some binding agent, so it's a bit, all those fibres can come into one fibre. So he adds a little bit of liquid to strengthen it in and pulls it through this pulling machine like they did when the old yarn machines when they're spinning wool, and makes the fibres. And then here we go, puts it on the ground, stakes it out, and going to redo it again. This is fascinating. I just couldn't believe how easy this shit is. And so he's going to go, he deburrs it now. So it's just got a simple ass deburr machine, the hand tool, and getting rid of all the excess fibres on the edge of it, so it all binds and sticks properly together. And they put a little bit of this liquid stuff on it as well to help. I don't know what the liquid is, but I'm sure it wouldn't be too hard to make that liquid up. It's rad. And then this ingenious little wooden device puts it in the center, and that spins it all and braids it together. So that fella up the other end, him walking together. I just love this. It only goes for 2 minutes. It's nearly finished. And then there you go. Look at that. Just put it all together on the farm with no machinery. And I'm going to pause it on this because I just love it. Look at that quality. Look, that's hemp, 100% pure hemp, and that is strong as shit. And you saw the elasticity in it. It's yeah, I love it. So that's it. How do I put him in that stream? G'day, Nexus.
Yeah, mate. How you doing?
All right, thank you. How are you?
We're good.
Master, like Noodle Master Fratelli says.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm well. I'm well, mate. Yeah, that binding stuff is Canuba wax.
Canuba wax, there you go. Canuba wax. So you add some Canuba wax into the mix.
Yeah. Well, that's the old way of doing it. Now they use some polymer that does the same thing.
Yeah.
It helps waterproof the fibre.
Ah, there you go. Last for many years.
Well, that's why they use Canuba wax on the ropes they use for big ships. It was always the Canuba wax, and it was always stretched, and it was always 100 of those threads woven together in a particular pattern. Yeah, and it was waxed to keep it waterproof.
And did you see the? Sorry, must be a bit of a lag. Did you see the elasticity that was in that strain when he was stretching that out? Yeah. Rope does not have those properties, so hemp rope would be shitloads better.
Yeah, and if you weave it in a certain way, it compresses itself, making itself even stronger.
Yes. Gosh.
It's got a higher tensile strength than steel under that sort of load. That's why they use it for mooring really big ships.
Yeah.
Most of those ropes are about 2 inches thick.
Yeah, probably cost top dollar. Where imagine making that in the hemp, put a few blokes in the field.
Last time I bought one, 100 fathoms of it was $600-700. That was in '96. That's the last time I bought a big long coil of rope.
Yep.
Comments. Hey, I can see the chat. I'll just pop the chat out on the screen.
All right. If there's no questions, there's nothing to talk about, so I'm going to go. So
okay.
I don't know what else to talk about. I'm not here to no one's really. I don't want to show my slides through the week because I don't know if people really want to see them. I don't know what's going on, so that's about the best I can do for everyone. I don't know what else to suggest.
You got 15 watching.
Yeah, well, there's nothing
and-
in chat. I don't want to keep everybody
Well,
up.
since we were all hanging out with Terrence when we got notification, so I said, I'll see you guys later. I'm going over to CC, so you got probably a couple of extra viewers for that.
Oh, well, thanks for that. Go back to Terrence, everybody, because I'm going.
No, he's got, man. We've got plenty to talk about.
Yeah. Well, I'm going. Like Dad said, this is no one. I don't know what else to do. I'm holding people up. They can't even see me. So, all right. Thanks for joining, everybody. Do you have any messages?
No, it's all good. It's all good.
All right. Thanks for joining, everybody. I hope all's well. I'll see you next week. I'll have a good week. Happy breeding. Happy growing to you. Goodbye.